Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 3 of Coog Radio's Concert Series. I'm Jura Smith, web director at Coog Radio.
And I am Joshua Vergara, marketing director of Coog Radio. And what you're listening to, or watching today, is Amanda Pascali's episode of Coog Radio Concert Series, a project dedicated to promoting local music in the Houston area. I feel excited.
I'm very excited. I've been, listening to her music, getting myself all prepped, and she's really like an amazing, not only musician, but person, so I'm very excited to have her here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Amanda Pascali and the Family, featuring Addison Freeman, is voted as Musician of the Year from the Houston Chronicle, so she definitely has a couple accomplishments down her belt.
She's legit.
Yeah, definitely one of the top musicians you should know about from the Houston area.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I totally agree, and I'm excited to have her in here and ask her a couple questions and, well, as usual, and hear her performance a little bit later on as well.
Yes, I hope we get to hear a couple of new things, because I heard from a little birdie that she's in the works of a new album.
Oh, that's so... I was going to ask her, because she's only had her, in the past 3 years, she just released a new single in September, and I was wondering if it was a new album single, perhaps.
I think it is, but I'm sure we'll get our answers soon.
Yeah, for sure. Well, awesome.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. All right, and we're live. Hello, everybody, and here with me today I have Amanda Pascali and I have Addison Freeman, who are in their band together. If you guys just feel free to introduce yourselves and tell me what instruments you guys play.
Hi, my name is Amanda Pascali. I am a singer-songwriter. I play the guitar and I sing.
Hi, I'm Addison Freeman. I accompany Amanda. I play stringed instruments. I have my violin and cello tonight, sometimes mandolin as well.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's jump right into this interview. Don't want to waste any more of our time after my little ramble session I had for a second there. So first of all, I was doing my research, as good interviewers do, and I came across this one interview you'd had, Amanda, where you described your genre as Immigrant American Folk. How did that kind of develop for you?
So when I was going in to record the first songs from our debut full-length album, Still It Moves, which came out in 2018, I went to a studio and worked with an audio engineer that I had never met before, and I played Hey Amorino for him in the studio.
Yes. And
he was like, what is this? What do you call this music? I've never heard anything like this before. And I thought to myself, I want to call it folk, American folk, but then there's obviously influences from other places, but at the same time it's not traditional Italian music, and it's not traditional Eastern European music. It's this music that's kind of this conglomerate of all these different cultures all over the world, and it's authentically from somewhere else, no matter where
you're from.
It's always foreign, no matter where it is. It's never going to fit in, and so it's kind of created that space for itself.
Yeah, I know I don't know if this is too personal of a question, but I know some of my friends who are one of my friends is Brazilian English and now lives in America. Does that that kind of, she's talks about a sense of discord sometimes with not having a solid sense of place. Does that play into your music at all?
Yeah, it definitely, So as the daughter of 2 immigrants from 2 different continents, I kind of grew up with this identity crisis of, I thought that I was super American until there was this day in elementary school where my friends would say oh, but you're not American, or
and you're thanks guys.
Yeah, it was kind of the other people decided what I was for me.
Yeah.
And then at that point I was okay, I guess I'm not part of this group that I thought I was.
Yeah.
And then at the same time there are places around the world where I look like I fit in, but as soon as somebody starts talking to me and they hear my accent, then they know that I'm not.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, going to Italy, it's okay, this is the one place where my name is quote unquote normal.
Yeah.
And yet when I talk to people and they hear my accent, they're okay, I thought you were one of us, but evidently not. Yeah. And they can't place me, they don't know where I'm from.
Not so categorical, and you're well, it is me, it's who I am,
Yeah.
So, that's definitely sounds complicated. And taking gonna veer off subject a little bit, but so listening to y'all's music, I was so crazy impressive. And like I think it was like Houston Chronicle like named you like, you know, like, oh, best musician or something, some title like that or whatever. Very your little bashful smile, you're like, don't mention it. But no, yeah, and it totally makes sense. So I wanted to ask, like, do y'all, like, both of you can answer, like, do you have any, like, training, or was this all self-taught? Like, your violin is crazy. Like, I was watching you were, like, plucking away, like, not plucking, but, like, playing away just, like, totally casually, like, you must have training of some sort.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I was classically trained,
yeah.
But not really for this kind of music. This is sort of something we build together. We rehearse and sort of make it up as we go. Of course, we, you know, are practiced, but there's no sheet music, I guess.
Yeah, that is
yeah,
crazy.
Our music is really like classical inspired.
Yes, yeah.
But just the same as it's not authentically from any one place. It's not really like it's by no means is it like
like,
you know, something
classical.
that you would call classical music, but you can hear that that's an influence.
Yeah, definitely.
In the songwriting,
or at least
in the arrangements.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also, you mentioned building this like music style together. Have y'all been working together like from the get-go?
Pretty much. So I've been a musician since I was 12 years old. That was my job in high school, was performing in bars in a cover band. And that's how I like made my pocket money when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. But when I was 18, I decided that I wanted to be a singer-songwriter. Even though I had written songs in the past, I hadn't shown them to anybody, and I hadn't branded myself as a singer-songwriter. So when I was 18, I went to a folk music conference in Austin where I was kind of like starting with this like branding and marketing as a singer-songwriter, and like, how do I start this by myself as an 18-year-old girl? And I met Addison there, and he was playing in a band, and I said like, hey, you play violin, I have this idea, and I really want you to be part of it, and this is my vision.
I think I approached you.
But I had this vision, and I wanted you to get it, and I don't know if you got it or if you just...
I remember seeing you play at the open mic at that folk conference and being so impressed and just intrigued by your sound, because it's nothing that I've heard before and other people hadn't heard before either.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. Like, listening to like your music, the only thing that really comes to mind is like Regina Spektor vaguely, and like, which, you know, makes sense. Like you mentioned like some Eastern European music, like I think she's Russian or like part Russian or something.
Soviet kitsch.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But like other than that, it's like, I mean, like even, you know, with that, it's like totally your own sound, which is a beautiful sound, obviously. Like, it's very impressive.
Thanks.
Very cool. You're welcome. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it, just so you know. But and you talked about also, I want to ask, tell me about this Immigrant American Folk project.
Okay, so the Immigrant American Folk project started out as an English language learning initiative. So at the end of 2019, I teamed up with Noel Paul Stuckey from the 1960s folk civil rights band Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, they played at like the March on Washington. And they were really, really huge and really revolutionary in the 60s. And now he has a nonprofit called Music to Life that he runs with his daughter. And so I teamed up with that organization, and we put on benefit concerts in Houston for local organizations in Houston that provide basic resources for new immigrants and refugees in the area. And then it became, I got commissioned by Mayor Sylvester Turner in the city of Houston to do this English language learning initiative where I created an asynchronous ESL program that was musically driven.
That is so cool. Yeah,
to help new immigrants and refugees learn English through music during COVID, because their classes got transitioned online, and so I was creating this like asynchronous program where I was making these video lessons and also like joining Zoom classes and stuff, and helping with English language learning, but also at the same time what comes with that is the students' own sense of what their national identity is, because that's a large part of language learning, is like can I be American? Like, can I speak English like the rest of these people in this place, and do I belong here? And now it's kind of turned into this like storytelling project where I tell the stories of those students that I was inspired by in the classes, and also people that I meet in my everyday life that have incredible immigration stories.
Yeah.
Because we live in Houston.
I was gonna say, like, Houston would be I'm sure a hugely impactful place to like launch this project.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that, which is why I think it's such a treasure to be doing this, because I want to make them realize it. Yeah, and like I've said it a bunch of times, like, the South is coming up. Like, people don't realize this about the South, but I think it's the new like hub of the U.S. Like, like, people are used to thinking of New York as like this hub where like immigrants from all over the world come, and that's where my parents met each other. But right now, we're in the most diverse city in the country, and we're in the South.
And people don't even think it. They just, you know, they think Texas, and they think like, oh God, those conservatives. And it's like, you don't know the people living here, man.
Exactly,
like, Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. That's such a cool story and a great project, and
Thanks.
I will definitely be checking it out. I will encourage everyone I literally meet to as well. And I also want to ask about another possible project coming up. So I know your single, One by One, came out this September. And I have to ask, is this like a single like leading into an album or something?
That's the idea. We're trying to put together an EP, a short album. Recording is expensive. We're independent musicians that just got out of a year of COVID, so not being able to play shows, which was our main income, and now like trying to fund these recordings and trying to like manifest this like vision that we've had of all these new songs, because our last album was 2018 and so much has happened since then. So yeah, we plan for it to be like part of a bigger project, but the finer details on that are later to come.
I'm sure. Well, and you know, I think it'll work out. Like, you have, I mean, with everything, all the crazy, you know, stuff that's happened, I'm sure that gives you lots of material to work with, you know.
Yeah.
So
we've met lots of great connections, and have an awesome like producer and engineer and other musicians that we get to work with to like really take our time and craft it the way that we want.
Good.
There's no rush.
As it should be. Yeah. Well, this was so great. It was so nice talking to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed coming here, and I'm so freaking excited to see y'all perform. Even during sound check, I was losing my marbles a little bit. I was so excited. And so I hope you guys enjoyed our little interview. And to all of my listeners and viewers out there, this has been episode 3 of Coog Radio's concert series, only at Coog Radio, the only student-ran radio from the University of Houston. Thank you, and good night.
All right, you guys are ready to go.
cello. He comes from where the wind is cold and dry. He was born to chase the sun in a town called Crayola. Perhaps that's why they called him the sky. Perhaps that's why they called him the sky. Tra-la-la-le-roo, tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-le-roo, la-la-la-la-la. Sole, figlio che per sempre splenderà. He's searching for a better life, a bigger, brighter, different life, to drown his perfect body in the light. He'll chase the stars on planes and cars, clouds whisper to him near and far. He's searching for the everlasting light, a pilot who's escaping from the night. Well, he's quietly escaping from the night. Tra-la-la-la-roo, tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-roo, la-la-la-la. And he'll search for the town where the sun never sets and the earth will keep chasing. Search for the town where the trains are bound. If he travels straight, he'll be there soon. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. takes my hand, it seems. Is this what Tarantella means? He asks me true from somewhere deep within. Then the planets and the moons digress. The Balkans and it never sets on the marriage of the East and the West. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. And he will search for the town where the sun never sets and the earth will keep chasing. Search for the town where the trains abound. If he travels straight, he'll be there soon. He said la da di da 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 di da 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 di da da da. Said la da 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 di da da di da da di da 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 di da da di da da. Forever give him the courage to stand completely naked in the dawn, to feel the everlasting daylight from a time when the end of everything became the start. Searching, he doesn't have to hide. We're just a bunch of foreigners from the other side, and we live our lives in treasure chests, colors uninvented yet, that dawn above a place in which the sun will never set. La da 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 da. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to everybody at Coog Radio for making this happen. Yeah, we're really happy to be here. My name is Amanda Pascali. This is Addison Freeman. We play what I like to call immigrant American folk music. This song is about being too foreign for here, too foreign for home, and never enough for both. Yellow line that runs straight through the highway in a land that isn't mine. And my mama told me, figlia mia, this is where you ought to stay. Queste strade con loro lastricate. Sera hai da di da di da di dai, hai da di da di da di dai. I grew up along the lines that separate the seas, and I waved to children on the street as they called out to me, and they spoke of the ancient maps of old, of Lady Lindy's paths. They led to somewhere he traversed alone. She was searching to never find a home. and Sorrelina came to search for me. Well, she wrote a letter to me and she said she'd set me free. She said chi si volta, chi si gira, sempre a casa va a finire. Oh Tsiganka, take your heart and leave it. Quelle strade duro, oh how they deceive it. Oh, Uccellino, call me Uccellino, 'cause it means per sempre till the day I fly away. Uccellino, vola clandestino, eppure falle d'amore fino al giorno che morirà. I said, ai da di da di da di dai, oh ai da di da di da di dai, oh ai da di da di da di dai, ai da di da di da di dai. Tra le nuvole, tra le stelle io sono nata. Tra i pianeti, somewhere nell'universo, io sono nata. Quella americana, quella che è giocana, quella che è partigiana. Sera, vola clandestino e volle d'amore fino al giorno che morirà. La di la di da da da, la di da di da da da, la di da da. Way down, the grapes grow on a vine which climbs way down to a house where lives my old aunt, and a window where she watches the flowers as they turn towards the sun. Where do they end and where have they begun? One by one, one by one, one by one. 18. Dad got up and left when he was 18. A pocket knife and bread, and he said maybe I'll start a family in this new country if they choose to welcome me. And piece by piece we'll build a house to face the sun. One by one, one by one, one by one. There is a field where the soldier, the worker, and the dreamer all converge. She carries a bag on her back, like the bags on her eyes. 100 years of goodbyes passed down, way down. Oh, Maria mi ha detto un bel giorno, ti giuro scapperò perché è famiglia e la patria aria del cuore, and there's a world out there that waits for something more. She, like others, had to leave so they could come one by one, one by one, one by one. Chi non va poi non vede, chi non vede poi non sa, e chissà quando questo finirà. Chi lo sa, chi lo sa, chi lo sa. Seekers do their seeking in the everlasting sun. One by one, one by one, one by one. Thank you guys so much for having us. We're gonna play one more song and that'll be it. 2, 3. I met him in the land where everybody says that anything can happen. He said, I haven't seen the sun, and just as soon as I have made it, I swear I'm going home. I swear I'm going home. Every morning since he donned a uniform and boots just like he did at home, and the factory in shades of muted black and white and blue, no color TV at home, no color TV at home. Temporary anteroom, temporary telephone, temporary concrete ceiling, temporary home. He spoke about a man who worked the sickle with his hand, and a voice that roared like thunder. He said the journey to the golden ground is just along the path down 7 levels under. Oh, temporary anteroom, temporary sleep alone, temporary wings to fly to a temporary home. Ooh, ooh, no name and no passport, no identity to transport, no nation, no conversation. Where do you belong? No name, no passport, no, no, no. Nobody waits for you to know more. Nobody waits in this underground airport. Where do you belong? I said, ain't gonna let nobody turn you around. No, turn you around. No, turn you around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn you around. Oh, where do you belong? I said, ain't gonna let nobody turn you around. No, turn you around. No, turn you around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn you around. Oh, where do you belong? Oh, where do you belong? Oh, where do you belong? be to draw the land piece by piece closer to me, closer to me, closer to me. The land of the free lies just over the sea, closer to me. All I could be if I could survive in the land of the free. If I were a painter, I'd paint me a sidewalk, paint me a skywalk, paint me a path of bright yellow white, bright burning light to lead us the way out of aching at last. Dee 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 dee, over the sea, the land of the free lies just over the sea, over the sea, over the sea, the land of the blissful liberty. Sister of mine, it feels like 1,000,000 years of time, just until we reach the island's teeming shores, where the ever-sparkling seas begin to shine. Dear brother of mine, I know that land someday we'll finally find, and the sun is a radiant green, white, and red like the blood that through water of kyanite shed, and the salt-covered dreams now buried before the land, and the moment that I'd waited for. Lie, 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 over the sky, the land of the free lies just over the sky, over the sky, over the sky. We do what we must do so we can survive. Over the sky, over the sky, the land of the free lies just over the sky, over the sky, over the sky. I loved you long after I left you behind. Uccellino, they call me Uccellino, 'cause it means for